7 humans who survived the impossible. José Salvador Alvarenga, holding the record for the longest solo survival at sea, José Salvador Alvarenga has survived the terrifying incident. In 2012, the 36-year-old fisherman got caught in a severe storm while attempting to head back to the coast of Mexico after a fishing ship. But little did he know that this storm was soon going to turn into his worst nightmare. Their boat was 25 feet long and virtually invisible at sea, and the engine had failed drastically, while the waves were pushing them further and further into the open water. Time passed and he was adrift for 483 days and traveled over 8,800 kilometers. Salvador said that he had been drifting in the Pacific Ocean for 13 months at 7 meters. Bizarrely, this survival was not easy. He said he made it through the voyage by eating fish, turtles, and birds, and strangely by drinking urine, bird blood, and rainwater. Ron Hunt. Known as the Miracle Man, Ron Hunt survived an impossibly terrifying accident that almost took his life. Ron Hunt, who was a construction worker, fell face first onto an 18-inch-long auger drill. He was working on top of a ladder drilling something overhead moments, but the ladder started to wobble following the safety procedures. He tossed the drill down soon when he realized he was falling. However, as he plummeted toward the ground, he landed right on top of the drill that just happened to be sitting in an upright position. Horrifyingly, the auger bit went straight through the skull. Doctors said that the drill penetrated his eye socket and pushed his brain to the side. Instead of surgically removing it, they decided to just unscrew the drill bit from his head, and he survived the unsurvivable. Roy Sullivan. As they say, lightning doesn't strike the same place twice, but it did strike the same man 7 times. Roy Sullivan, a Virginia forest ranger, was severely hit by lightning on 7 different occasions. Anyone would rarely have made it through the lightning, but turning out to be the luckiest all the time, Roy Sullivan survived these terrifying incidents. Astonishingly, after so many bizarre incidences, one good thing happened which put him in the Guinness Book of World Records. For this reason, he even gained the nickname Human Lighting Conductor and Human Lighting Rod. But sadly, after a few years, he ended up taking his own life. Lindy Harding. Her extremely astonishing survival seemed nearly impossible when she fell 8,500 feet straight to the ground in a skydiving accident. Unfortunately, when she pulled her parachute cord, it drastically failed to open. Though 7 years after the terrifying and life-taking accident, Lindy was able to muster enough confidence to make another jump. Luger Silbaris. Becoming one of the few survivors of the apocalyptic eruption of Mount Pelee, a volcano just north of Saint-Pierre in Martinique, Luger is a survivor who overcame a devastating incident. Though Silbaris witnessed the eruption as ash poured in through the tiny slot in his cell door, and tried to spare himself from more burns and the excessive heat. He tried every possible thing to survive. He even urinated on his clothes and stuffed them in the opening. Luckily, 4 days later he was discovered by the rescue team. Saint-Pierre, which had been known as the Paris of the West Indies, bizarrely never recovered from the catastrophe and today is home to only a few thousand people. Anatoly Bugorsky. The 36-year-old Bugorsky was a researcher at the Institute for High Energy Physics. Anatoly never knew that his work was going to turn into a situation that would end up taking his life. While attempting to fix a piece of faulty equipment, Anatoly put his head in between a proton beam and its intended destination. Soon, when the beam passed through his skull, at first he didn't feel pain, but he did witness a flash brighter than 1,000 suns. Therapy, which is used to treat cancer patients, utilizes beams with ranging from 250 million electron volts of energy. However, the beam that hit Bugorsky had more than 300 times energy. Despite the severe swelling and eventual paralysis of the left side of his face, Anatoly survived. Luckily, he suffered neither cancer nor radiation sickness, as far as anyone can tell. Aron Ralston. While climbing Utah's Blue John Canyon in 2003, Aron Ralston got struck by a boulder, dislodged and pinned his hand to the canyon wall. The bizarre accident ended up crushing his right arm and trapping him for 6 days, struggling only with 1 liter of water, 2 burritos, and a few chunks of chocolate, along with a video camera and headphones. Losing all hope of anyone finding him for his rescue and survival. Unfortunately, it was such a bleak situation that Ralston used his camera to record his last will and testament. Finally, on the 6th day, he completed his gruesome plan and rappelled 65 feet down to escape. Soon, he was found by Dutch tourists and later picked up by a search and rescue helicopter.